continuing with Copilot in Teams. After the last session, we have had Copilot useful in our live meeting, what we can do with him and how we can interact with a meeting. But what about post-meeting, right? Now we're going into task and project management with Copilot a little bit, and let's use this meeting conversation that we had last week with Samantha in order to continue. Right away, I have the option to open Copilot over here, as we have with any conversation in Teams, the opportunity to ask about things that have been said within a conversation or within a meeting. It would be more useful or exciting if people had actually written or shared documents within this meeting conversation. However, luckily, we have someone that taped the meeting and created a transcript, so we're going to use that. Let's open a new window and then maximize the screen in order to have a look at this. So with this meeting summary, we can interact with Copilot and have a look in what needs to be done. You see over here that for the first part, there has not been a transcript. So there's nothing that Copilot can give us here. As you remember, Copilot needs a transcript. And if there's a taping of the video of the meeting, it needs to have a transcript still in order for Copilot to analyze and give us information about what happened. So let's go to part 2, because apparently part 2 has a transcript. And right away, when I jump here to part 2 with the transcript, without opening Copilot, I'm already greeted by the AI notes that Copilot has taken. If we have a look over here, no one in the meeting really bothered to take any notes or to write anything down. Rather, they had Copilot transcribe the entire conversation, and that is why we have auto-generated some meeting notes with Copilot over here. We can have a look. Even some follow-up tasks are listed. I can jump into my mentionings of when and what happened. I could also jump to the point in the transcript where it happened, or have a go at the transcript in its entirety. But let's open Copilot in order to further converse with this. I have conversed with it previously. As you see, I have done so in German, which provided me some German answers by Copilot, even though the transcript is in English, because the conversation and the meeting, of course, was in English. So here's again a testimony to the multilingual capabilities. I now, since it's set in German, have to use the English language in order to prompt it to give me English responses. So let's do that. Summarize the meeting for me. This should be enough. Minor typos should not be an issue. This sometimes happens. Right now, we have used an English prompt in order to get an English result. However, Copilot did not really bother to switch in this sidebar setting that happens sometimes. It has not really happened to me when I use the bigger interface with Microsoft 365 Copilot. So let's try it again. Summarize the meeting for me in English. There we go. And now we should get what we would have desired earlier, but it's still going to happen very fast. We are getting the result in the language that we wanted and that we appreciated over here. So let's give it a go. There's a couple of things that we see. We have the purpose and the context of the meeting, what has been in detail discussed over here, or again with our quoting to the transcript directly. Technical clarifications, and even next steps and collaborations that I mentioned over here. Right now, down here, we have some adaptation from Copilot. So now, since I switched to English, some of the next prompt suggestions are in English also. However, if you go to prompt suggestions, that still is going to be in German, just based on the setup that I have. So if I now jump to generate AI notes or meeting notes, it will automatically be submitted. So the better way is to type it out and tell it it's supposed to give you in the language that you want, or I could now tell it to translate it in English basically in order to get the result that I want. So basically, having Copilot in order to use after a meeting is also a good way to help yourself with task and project management. So if I'm asking what are follow-up tasks for me, he is apparently still working on the first response. So this is probably a testimony to my location within Germany and the internet connection over here, because obviously the technology is only so good as the latency that we provide. Um, is it allowing me in any way, shape, or form to refresh? Yes, open and close. That's the usual IT go, is it? In English, as a suffix, just in order to get the result in English. And right here, it's working again. Sometimes it's literally just turning on and off again the engine, right? So what I wanted to tell you and show you over here before I sign off for today with this meeting, with this session, is that for your project management, in less than 5 minutes between meetings, you can use past the meeting, past the conversation, Copilot in order to define follow-up tasks, understand what you have to do or what someone else has to do. List all action items assigned to me in English. Now he's called on to the pattern that I have provided. It's clearly learning within the conversation and giving me what I'm asking for.